ChatGPT, AI. Hi, guys. What's up?
Hi.
Hey, happy Faz Friday, Faz.
Oh, that reminds me. If this is Faz Friday, next week is going to be Fazless Friday because I'm moving that day.
How many times have you moved in the last 3 years now?
This will be the fifth time. Actually, let's just say in the last year. 4, I think.
There's a big reasons to move that often, or what?
There are reasons which I don't need to go into right now.
Okay.
Witness protection plan.
Witness protection
Oh
program.
my God.
Yeah, people found out who I were, and they've been banging down my door. They apparently like all these Gala NFTs that I have, and all this Gala that I have, and they just want it. So, remember,
Wow.
the best security is no better than a $5 wrench. Have you heard of a $5 wrench attack?
No.
Basically, you beat somebody over the head with a $5 wrench until that you give them your private keys. Or sorry, they beat you over the head till you give them your private keys.
Wow.
That is actually old now. They use hammer now instead of wrench. They call it a $5 hammer attack. Yeah.
A $5 wrench is a pipe wrench, but a pipe wrench should probably cost more than that. But
so, speaking of, there's been a lot of chitter chatter that I've been listening to. The lack of new hardware wallet support for crypto is starting to raise some eyebrows. I mean, nothing really innovative or different has come out to help protect people's crypto on the hardware side now. This is the 3rd year. And I mean, they've updated like Ledger and they've updated Trezor, but it's the same basic 3 or 4 hardware wallets. And so they're trying to push now. The big push is for innovators or builders to bring forward a massive upgrade to the hardware wallet system. So I'm looking forward to seeing somebody step up on that one, because if I could, I would, but I don't know how to do that stuff.
Well, so the internet actually stagnated in the beginning until they could get some real good standards. In fact, it stagnated for quite a long time, like 20-something years. And once standards came about, like HTML was a standard, the TCP/IP was a standard. Basically, before that, I mean, the internet was just used for all sorts of weird reasons. And crypto, there is kind of a standard. There's a standard wallet, but there's no like next standard step of like how to make things really, really easy. You have a hardware wallet, you got to mess with this little thing, and
that's part of the security, and I love that. But at the same time, you've got to take it maybe down, just like have steps for it. You have to have a hardware wallet that's secure enough to carry with you, but you need a true cold wallet storage that's better for at home and for long-term security storage, all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of innovation that I've been reading that people are really pushing for now. And the leader in the pack so far, who's been the first to step up, is our buddy Adam, who runs blockchain what is it? They have the Jade Blockstream. Thank you. And he is developing a whole bunch of new ones. They had a giveaway this week. They dug through their basement because they were looking for new ideas, and they pulled out some of the OG devices that they created for the Jade, and they were giving them away as part of a promotion because they're going to start working on some new hardware devices.
Well, good. It's about time.
Now, they're Bitcoin only, though, mind you. That's
They can
the
come up with
drawback.
new standards. That's fine.
I hope that comes out soon. I want to try something new. I still got the Ledger Nano that I use.
Hey, it works.
I'm almost out of storage space on it though. Those programs, every time they update, those programs get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think they do that on purpose. Make you buy more.
So I think the part that you're missing is the hardware doesn't need to be updated as much as the software does. They come up with new ways to access, new and faster ways to access the chain, more secure ways. There's bug fixes, stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to make the programs bigger. You want that.
Well, I want the
not that
extra
you
security,
want it to be
sure.
bigger, but you want things to stay being updated. And until there's more hardware out there, that's what it's going to be. But I mean, the new one, not the new one, what do you call it? The Ledger X, this one here.
Yeah, that's the one I got. Yeah.
So you can put less programs on it now, is what you're saying?
Yeah. So I did an update maybe 2 months ago, and it used to be that as you watched it update, about half of your memory was taken up, right? And now it's like 80% is taken up. And I've just added crypto to it. I haven't added like more chains or anything to it. So the software updates have gotten bigger and bigger, and it only has so much space on it.
Well, the X is actually fairly old. I bet they probably even have newer stuff now.
No, I've got the one that Faz has. It's the big, long, slim one that looks like you can go on a keychain almost.
Well, I also have these tiny ones too.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't have the baby ones. I have the regular size one of that.
The baby ones, actually, they won't let you they won't let you send NFTs with this one. They only let you do it with the bigger one. So there is a Nano S Plus, which looks like a newer version of this for $79. And then there's a Flex Graphite, or there's a Flex, which is $250, which has a lot more memory and a big giant screen. Looks like a little.
Yeah, that's the one we promoted maybe 2 years ago. Remember it was on pre-sale. We talked about it when it was on pre-sale. And that has the, what's that called? The paper screen.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
What I'm surprised of, honestly, is I know that Samsung has made it for years to where you can have a crypto wallet in your phone as part of your phone, as in hardware wallet, as part of your phone. But that was back in like 2018, 2019. So I don't know why they're not just having hardware deals with phone companies, but I guess the phone companies don't want to deal with crypto right now.
They have Knox. They use Knox, and that is like uber secure. One of the best security platforms out there is what they've got on theirs. That's the only thing I'll say for Samsung. I had the first Galaxy. It was called the Fascinate. That's where I learned how to flash ROMs and all that kind of stuff. That phone still turns on. It's back from the early 2000s. It wasn't even named Galaxy. It was called the Fascinate.
Was it you that said you think? Let's stay down the crypto direction. Was it you that said you think crypto is kind of has jumped the shark, or was that AI?
No, it was me, and I think I don't think it's dead. Okay, but I do think people have woken up a lot more. And I think it's just all pump and dump at this point. I don't think any crypto platforms, and we're excluding Bitcoin from this, of course, any crypto platform has produced or provided enough benefit, utility, or use case to make it viable at this point. And so I think this craze of investing in projects is way over with. It's just buy and sell to make some money.
So, okay, let's that I've been aware of, you have known about crypto for 4 years, because as you remember, or you like to tell people, I introduced you to it. I know you knew about it a little bit beforehand, but you got involved 4 years ago. Venture capitalists, when they get into a new technology or a new company, they put in money and they have to wait 7 to 10 years sometimes. I mean, it's not like it's going to happen right away. You got to get, all the things in place. You got to get government approvals and stuff like that, even for like companies and technologies.
Well, I'm talking about retail people, us, not investors or institutional or angel investors or anything like that. I'm talking about the normal person out there who is doing money management, who wants to buy something that hopefully grows, or wants to join a ecosystem or a platform that's going to do something. I think the mentality from people is done at this point. I think that people will still trade it and still do trade it. You can see the volume, although the bots and the fake manipulation are still all over the place.
Well, I'm just saying.
But for
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to wrap up and say, but for normal people, the excitement is gone because of the bullshit and fuckery over the last 3 years.
Well, I'm making a point that seed stage investors take 5 to 10 years to, for a return of some sort. Late stage investors, 1 to 3 years. Those are people before you get to the general public. And I'm thinking about when I first got interested in Amazon in 2011. Amazon's stock was like $200, and but Amazon had been around for at least trying to think, 15 years, at least 15 to 20 years before that. And I got interested in the stock in 2011. I bought some, and then it went up, and then I sold it. Of course, that was dumb because Amazon has gone a lot further. But Amazon itself, I mean, I'm just giving you an example. It's been around for a long time, but their stock was $200 in 2011, then became the Amazon that we all know and love, or hate. And I'm just thinking of any of these crypto projects, any of them, have taken a long time to they will take a long time to realize. And I'm sure Amazon itself went through a number of iterations and steps and investors before they finally got to their late stage stuff to where they have a billion products and they make everything for everybody.
I just don't see it. I don't see anybody doing anything worth that long-term investment at this point yet.
Well, okay. So when you say worth the investment, I mean, Amazon started out as a bookstore, and then somehow they got to where they provide everything. And to me, that's really just saying it was a store. And there were internet stores out long before Amazon became, its big megalithic self right now. There were a lot of stores that were around. Uh-oh, Mr. Zorro's gone. But they seem to have kind of conquered the other ones and stuff. And so what I think crypto is doing right now is it's in a holding pattern until governments really embrace it. Governments have to allow it, crypto, to move forward in some way. I mean,
that's part of the reason people don't like it. It's not decentralized. If you're waiting for daddy to come and regulate you, it's just a regular company that is making fake money.
Fake money? I wouldn't say it's making fake money. It's trying to make money. And I mean, in the beginning of something, in the beginning of anything, everything's fake. I mean, it's like they're just trying to make something work. So every company, every crypto company is technically fake until all of a sudden they get successful, and then they're not fake anymore, are they?
My thoughts on that are, if you're going to do crypto, you take it to the max decentralization as you can. If there's somebody to sue, or a boss or a person or an entity that can manipulate whatever it is the platform stands for, that's not crypto. So I don't see anybody right now at that stage, because every crypto token out there has an owner at this point. That's my point. Now, there are some that will tell you, hey, in 5 years, we plan to step away. Well, if it's making a lot of money, they're not going to step away. So you have to remember, you have to watch where the money is coming from and going to, and that'll tell you a whole lot about how decentralized they plan to be. As long as there's a revenue source, they're not going to walk away from it.
Okay, so let's deconstruct this centralized argument here, because when you say crypto, you're throwing in centralized. Now, yeah, I love the idea of centralized too, but it may wind up that crypto becomes a lot more centralized, because that's how the world currently works. I guess you're saying that's not crypto then.
That is not what I consider crypto, right? So they can call themselves crypto, they can be crypto, but really it's just issuing nothing at this point.
So let's throw some presidential politics in here, because one candidate, Trump, is 1,000% crypto all of a sudden, 1,000% Bitcoin, despite saying just a few years ago that it was nothing. Now he's all in. But one of his promises specifically is we want to make all Bitcoin here in the United States. Well, that says to me he's literally advertising to people that he wants to corner the market in Bitcoin, which means if you like Bitcoin at all, you're not going to like his plan. Great, he's into crypto, but he's in for the United States to generate all this Bitcoin, and the United States can have it all. He doesn't want crypto then, according to your definition.
No, he doesn't understand it, obviously, fully, because where it's made doesn't matter. You want it to be made in as many different places as possible. You want those miners spread out, and you want a lot of those. Now, he still thinks of it as a stock, and thinks that if the U.S. makes the most of it, it stays in the U.S. and it pumps just like the Google stock does.
Well,
so it's obvious he has a very low understanding of crypto.
What if all Bitcoin was made in the U.S.? I would think that other countries would be against crypto then, because then if it was all made in the U.S., then the U.S. can then theoretically regulate how things work in the U.S. to where Bitcoin is made in a certain way according to their demands and so on.
No, all they would have to do is adopt Bitcoin to make it further decentralized, right? So if you have a use for it outside of a very small little place, that helps it tremendously, because nobody can hoard it at that point, right? So you have Saylor right now who's hoarding it, and he just committed to buying $41 billion more.
Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. Bitcoin is minted in a decentralized way, but if you get it to where the United States is running all the miners, and you regulate it as such that the United States gets to tell you when to turn the miners on and when to turn them off, now they can control the flow of how many new Bitcoins are made, which means they can control when it inflates. Now, of course, OPX Reaper here is saying there are not very many Bitcoins left to be made. Actually, no, there's not. But as time goes on, each Bitcoin is going to be worth more and more, and they're not all going to be made until the year 2100 or something. I mean, it's by current estimates. Now, if the U.S. government can get in there and stop all the miners and start them whenever they want, they can choose when the money happens and make it to their advantage, and in one sense make it less decentralized because they control it.
Well, they I don't think they can do that because anybody can spin up a miner anywhere at any time.
Well, I mean,
And
okay, so there are programs you can run on your computer that the federal government can tell that you're running on your computer. There are ways to tell if your computer's doing something wrong. I mean, if you're using Windows, for example, you're using an operating system that's already being monitored by Microsoft 6 ways to Sunday. So, I mean, you could monitor electricity usage, CPU power. There's a number of ways.
But worldwide is what we're talking about. Again, you seem to be thinking contained to the U.S. Anybody in the world can spin up miners.
I'm going with Trump's spoken plan. Now, of course, we all know that he has no clue what he's talking about. But I would suggest that not only does he not know what he's talking about, but everybody who agrees with him probably doesn't know what on that subject, probably doesn't know what they're talking about, which is a bit dangerous because then Bitcoin's going to have then they're going to be unhappily surprised and they're not going to be able to dovetail the economy into how Bitcoin works. That's what I'd like to see is the economy would support Bitcoin and realize that everything's global and can't be controlled. But I feel like people want to control it.
Governments want to control it.
Yeah. And they'll now, of course, they can't control it because they can make a fork, but people have to accept that fork as valid.
I always thinking that they really, miss that opportunity of actually controlling the whole Bitcoin stuff. And it falls into people's hands first, the users, which is is us, the people. And I'm pretty sure that's why they're gonna come along with a lot of regulations and stuff like that, because they don't want another Bitcoin, any token or crypto, to become bigger as a Bitcoin. So.
I think the government to get rid of Bitcoin or replace it would just be making another coin that they would approve of, which is
right. and as far the elections right now and Trump talking about Bitcoin and both parties talking about Bitcoin is just they're just doing it to see. They know the Bitcoin and crypto have a large communities all around the world and around
and
the
they
US
think that
as
the
well.
Bitcoin community is dumb enough.
Right. So the real answer about the government using or Trump, let's say Trump using Bitcoin or crypto, it will become once if he is elected president, and we will see if they're really going to use Bitcoin for something. But
what I want to see, I'm sorry.
No, but other than that, for now, I really don't believe in nothing what they're saying about Bitcoin right now or any crypto project or crypto as well. It's because, obviously they just using that as a good marketing for their election. That's it pretty much.
What I want to see, honestly, is any government embrace Bitcoin like we embraced the internet in the 90s. With the we regulated the internet, and once we did, everybody got an idea of how things work, and then they were able to build on it. But the problem is, it's really exposing a problem with money, in the fact that money isn't regulated, so you can't really regulate crypto. Money is, money and value in this country, in the United States, is meant to be vague and ambiguous, and the regulation is vague and ambiguous to be able to address that.
Right. Probably one of the good reasons that why the US or Trump or any public servant wants to be really involved, or let's gonna put it this way. If the US they really wants to have the Bitcoin and all this crypto market, if you see it from the way of the technology, from the point of view of technology, what they really want is the technology, the blockchain. You can build and you can do a lot of stuff in the blockchain now, and they know that they can start developing in the blockchain, and maybe they're going to create new things out of that technology. That's the whole reason. If one country see it that way, that's the goal right there. The technology, the protocol of Bitcoin. Whoever, whatever country or whoever uh, start developing and go deep into the blockchain is the country that is gonna probably build the future of the technology, basically.
Well, you got anything to say about that Titan before I intentionally try to switch subjects here?
Yeah,
He's
we've
talking.
got to get to the AI part, of course. But what I will say is I disagree with you on one side of that, Zorro, in that I don't think government wants technology for most things as far as blockchain goes. They have the ability, the capacity, and the resources to put the election and the voting on the blockchain. If they do that, nobody can cheat. And that is a problem for them. Neither side wants that to happen. Neither side wants the accountability on that. Otherwise, they would have done it by now. Because blockchain has existed for 15 years. It's not like blockchain was just invented.
Stop. Okay, I've got to correct this, okay? The federal government doesn't control voting. The states do. So you'd need 50 blockchains in the case of the United States. At least 50 blockchains. We have territories as well. So now they could regulate it and say each state can put their votes on a blockchain, or should. That would be a great idea. But the federal government does not control voting. I want to make that extremely clear. They don't. The states do.
So I'm talking general concept here, Faz. I'm not talking about the minutia of exactly how they
that's
work.
not a minutia. The general concept of how voting works in the United States is that the federal government does not control voting. That's the general concept.
Okay. So you don't need 50 blockchains. You can use one blockchain that every state has access to. Okay. Whatever. I'm not going to argue.
That centralized.
But the point is,
that literally centralizes something that they wanted to split into 50 pieces for a very specific reason. I want to make sure that 50 blockchains would be the best idea, in my opinion. They could use the same one, but then if that blockchain comes under attack, then 50 different states are vulnerable. So it's up to each state to kind of police their own thing. I guess they could use the same blockchain, but I think that'd be a bad idea, personally.
But having a wallet address who's associated with a voter and having that recorded, and there's no possibility for anybody to cheat in any way, shape, or form because it's recorded as it's recorded and it's immutable and all the fun things that blockchain is.
Recorded. Once it's recorded, you can't cheat, but you can cheat before you get there, like hack MetaMask, that kind of thing.
Well, again, there's nothing is perfect. We know that. But I think it would be a lot better than the current electronic systems and paper systems that they have. What? No.
Well, then
No.
Stop suggesting that you put everything on one blockchain and maybe people won't think that.
I'm saying you don't need multiple blockchains to vote. You don't need that.
Ideally, you don't want. Ideally, yeah, it'd be great to centralize everything. But if you want to centralize all voting in the United States to a single blockchain, there's security problems with that. The good news is these blockchains can't be hacked, and their votes can be recorded once they're recorded. But then you have many different ways to get to it, like MetaMask and other things. You'd hack those things instead of the blockchain.
I don't know. Maybe your private key would be far more important.
Oh, wait a minute. I clicked on this other one. We can't even go to the moon. Actually, we have been going to the moon in the last couple of years, actually. A number of nations have been. China, India, and the U.S. is we've been sending their stuff there too. So the hard part is convincing people that there's anything useful on the moon. How would the government use the blockchain? Well, I don't know. Everybody need to get along, wouldn't they?
I am not gonna go deep into Crypto View comments, but yeah, he really don't believe that we went to the moon. So
he doesn't believe that.
He doesn't believe that.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, tell that to China and India. China has a space station up there too. So I'm not in the moon, but around
around.
the Earth. Anyway. But the point is, as far as going to the moon, we need good reasons to go there. And for the government, the United States government, I would love to see the United States government use a blockchain for what they currently do. Just keep track of what they do. That would be awesome.
They don't want that for their money either. They lost $2 trillion at the Pentagon and nobody gives a shit.
Well,
if you track the money on a blockchain, then somebody's holding the bag. You can't have that for government.
This is what I said earlier. I said this earlier. You feel free to make a clip for it. Banking and money is intended by all governments to not be clear so that they can fudge the lines and then stay solvent in some way. So why would any banker want to have a blockchain, something that cannot be changed, and cannot be altered and affected, or hacked? Why would a banker want that? They would actually have to balance their budget, balance their ledgers. The ledger balances itself.
Right. And that's why Bitcoin is so important.
Crypto View, Chinese satellites have gone to the moon. I didn't say that they brought people to the moon. In fact, we have a program that's going to the moon very soon, called the Ares program. They just picked 3 astronauts to go to the moon just a few weeks ago. One of them was a woman too, so we'll have a first woman on the moon. But in any case, it's blockchain is too smart in one sense for everybody to decide to use. And I think the government mandated everybody using blockchain for voting. A number of states would be against it. And they come up with all sorts of crazy reasons why they shouldn't. It'd be a political thing. I mean, yeah. You're mute. You're muted.
Sorry. Get us over to AI. People have been waiting for these conversations. There's some really cool stuff this week.
You seem to be tying cryptocurrency and transparency. It doesn't have to be both. He's not wrong. All right. Tech giants are set to spend $200 billion this year chasing AI. Now, this is meant to say in 2024. Basically, the big players like Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and Alphabet and stuff like that, they are all going all in on AI because AI is just flat out easier. It's easier because it's you can speed up everybody. AI might not be smarter, but it's faster. And if you need 10 developers to do something and you can get away with 8 developers and AI, people will do it. So that's why these companies are going all in. And you're going to have just a million tools coming out. ChatGPT is a perfect example. ChatGPT and Claude. I used Claude just today to do a lot of research because I'm working with a friend who's trying to start a business. And I was doing a lot of research. Oh my gosh, I got probably about a week's worth of research done in 2 hours just to get an idea of costs of things, features of things. Now of course, I was researching software. And so, of course, I think using the software matters too. But you got to get that list built to where you can narrow things down to where you can start demoing and trying it yourself. So there's so many tools. StreamYard, which we're using right now, is going to be AI enhanced to save us time in editing, I'm sure. And you name the tool, it's AI is going to be in there to save us time. So it's this, in my opinion, this is a sure thing. AI is going to happen. There's no stopping it.
So where do you think the line is? Because that article you sent, and I linked it already in the show notes, by the way, where it mentions this, right? So there's this race that everybody's having. They're dumping ridiculous amounts of money into this development. And it can only go so far before you bump your head on either a tech stack that just won't stack right, or you have AGI, right? So this race that all these companies are having, is that going to prematurely set AI back? I thought that was a fantastic question that they asked in that article.
Well, when you scale up anything, scaling means you're going kind of sideways. You're getting bigger so you can handle bigger stuff. So if I don't know, if you use a tiny cup to take water out of a boat, and you want to scale up that idea, you want bigger and bigger cups, or to scale it up, you might use a hose instead, and then make the diameter of the hose bigger and bigger. So it's gonna slow it down, but it's gonna get wider and bigger.
Yeah. Your analogies are fantastic, Faz.
Yeah.
How big will that hose get, Faz?
Oh, I have to answer Crypto View here. He says nobody has been on the moon. You tell me your method of figuring out that no one's been on the moon, Crypto View, and I'll respond using your method.
So with these jumps, we just had another jump like they're playing leapfrog with this. And there's two big things that happened today. And I actually played with this one. But ChatGPT came up with a search function and a search replacement for Google. I ran into this. I load up what I do in the mornings at my day job is I'll load up a bunch of podcasts for the day. That's the first thing I do when I get in. And then I go and dig into my work and I listen to these things while I work. And I bumped into the one and they were saying that it just went live. You know, you get this Chrome extension and it replaces Google. And people are saying it's fantastic, all this. So, of course, I had to stop what I was doing and get that copied. And I sent it over to myself at home here so I could load that into my browser. Holy cow, man. It literally takes over. And when you do a Google search, it kicks into ChatGPT and gets you the information with links
on the right
that
side
take you right where the source of that information is.
It's giving sources. Yep. It is absolutely fantastic. Now it's brand new and it's not that great yet, and it has trouble with image search, but this is a really, really, really big thing. Yeah. And at the same time, something that seemed super small, but is actually way bigger than people realize, is our buddy Claude. And Claude can now read images out of PDFs as part of the analysis of a PDF document. So it can interpret, extrapolate, and give comments and commentary and summaries and ideas on images that are inside a PDF. You can put anything into a PDF and make it an image in there. So this is like really big. This was a big week of releases with what we have available. And people and companies like you in your article are spending billions to get this to a higher level very quickly. I find it truly amazing. Yeah, one of the biggest things that I had been doing since ChatGPT came out is I've been asking ChatGPT to Google things for me, because now I could Google it, but then I'd have to look at all the results, determine which link is better, click on that one. And of course, you usually want to click the top few or something like that. That takes a lot of time. I would rather, especially when you have a number of indicators to talk about. And so if everything you type is a Google search, then you can get some really good opinions about things. It's like, hey, I need to know how to do X, Y, and Z. And it'll look at a few different pages and help you out with that. I think that's awesome. And give you links along what you mean. The killer app of ChatGPT and Claude and stuff like that seems to be the ability to understand human speech in however we say it. I think that's even better than what the AI, the understanding part what do they call that? The language translation part. That's a big part of that. I mean, with Google, when you want to look for something, you want to, I don't know, Google radio stations, you just type in radio stations and maybe a city. Typing in a lot more than that. People don't really do that as much with Google. But with AI, you're going to say, hey, I'm looking to solve this problem. And then it's like, oh, you mean radio stations in this city. Okay. But it might say, oh, you might mean something else. So you get something that you wanted, but you didn't ask for. That's what I think is a big difference with AI Googling for you.
Well, I think the step ladder on that is a game changer as well. Using your example, you can search for radio stations in Cleveland, Ohio. And then you find one that you like, and you can say to it then, I'm running Windows 11. What is the best radio station player app that's out there right now? Can you download that for me and start the radio station, ABCD, where it can be stackable like that. Whereas it would take you'd have to go out of the search, type in, try to find a program for it, download it, install it, then go back to your Google search. I mean, so not only the time saver, but being stackable, I think, is really, 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 really big.
I don't think we're realizing that AI is going to help automate everything. If you had to spend a lot of time, like I was researching with AI earlier today, I was going to websites. I was looking to see how things were, and I kind of didn't even know what I wanted in the beginning. And AI was help me very quickly to clarify things in a way that I could not get from a Google search. But there's a lot of steps. Say, like you said, if you need to download a program, just give me the best program. And you want somebody else to think about the most secure program. Maybe you could tell it beforehand. If I ever ask for the best program, I want something that's secure and easy to use. In fact, since AI interacts with you and knows your might know your personality, would say, I want the program that's easiest for me to use, which is a big deal. Maybe you're a Mac guy. Maybe I'm a PC guy. And so if I had it download an operating system, it would download the best one for me to use. So this is going to scare people because, and I'll wrap this up. This is going to scare people because that means all your tools are constantly studying you to figure out what works best for you to give you something that you can operate the easiest.
But that's the primary reason. It's supposed to be that way, Faz. I mean, AI learn from you and use those tools to provide you with the things that you need in the best way, So
that is that is huge. Okay, and let me explain why. So we've had these discussions of the ChatGPT versus Claude, and they're good for different things. So the way that I've been using it, I use both also. And here's the thing. Faz came up with a great idea and shared it with everybody about making what he was calling Bibles, right? So the first message that you put into your chat window when you create a new chat, you give it the context of like what's going on. And then it will build off of that. You can give it instructions and say, remember these instructions for the entire chat. So I would do that in Claude. And after a while, I would run the hell out of Claude all the way down and do multiple things and multiple projects. And I would get these warnings. This chat's getting a little bit too long. You may want to start a new chat. So I would have to go over and copy my instructions again and put it into another chat because the tokens, you were reading far too much. ChatGPT doesn't have that problem. And it remembers the instructions. I've had the same workflow for like FazRadio for a very, very long time. And I've modified the instructions, and I'll tell it, strike what we did in the original instructions and replace in the original instructions this. Please reread the original instructions from the first post to refresh your memory. And it'll update and refresh it, and I can go forever with this. But it knows the personality. You tell it, thank you, that's better. Or if you get a crappy one, you say, that was terrible, I want you to try again. And like Zorro, like you're saying, and fast, it learns, man. And that's the advantage right now that ChatGPT has, because I wasn't a big fan of ChatGPT at the beginning. Claude was giving me far more depth of everything. And now that's not the case anymore.
Well,
the thing is with ChatGPT also, people are normally using the free version, and it's a big difference when you start getting the subscription for ChatGPT. Obviously, you're gonna open and unlock more features, and that's something that I noticed when I start using ChatGPT, the free version, and then compare when I get the full subscription for the whole year. It changed drastically a lot. Like, you can do more, and also it give you better results when you ask ChatGPT to do something for you. And that's my experience with ChatGPT, and that's what I ended up after using a couple of them. I said, no, I think ChatGPT, obviously, that's why it's ChatGPT. Is I think it's great. I think it's great, to be honest with you. Sometimes people will get surprised what ChatGPT can do for you.
And you learn. And
I think it's important to mention the limits of ChatGPT. And people seem to be realizing this. ChatGPT and in any other AI thing is it works best according to the training that it has. I see that CryptoView here says ChatGPT doesn't believe that we went to the moon. So ChatGPT doesn't have beliefs. It's going to basically tell you an answer based upon its training data. If you tell it to focus only on certain data that we didn't go to the moon, it will read you chapter and verse about why we didn't go to the moon. But if you point it to the proper, the data that we went to the moon, it'll read, it'll tell you the same thing. It'll tell you all the details that you need to know. So AI is not an arbiter. It's not going to tell you the truth. It's going to tell you what its training data says. And I'm trying to keep that as realistic as possible. I use it to help bolster arguments for me, but I don't use it to tell me how things really are. I don't know all the data it's going for. So I might say, okay, based upon NASA's data, tell me how we went to the moon. There you go. Now you could say, based on website X, how did we not go to the moon? So AI is not. It doesn't compute very well, and it's not. This is where it can't replace a human very well, but it can help you digest and query any sort of data you want in the language that you understand the best.
Right. And I'm glad you say that, because a lot of people that I talk to daily about AI and ChatGPT, people have that mistake of saying, oh, ChatGPT told me the truth about this, and that's not true. ChatGPT is not telling you the truth about nothing. ChatGPT or AI is collecting all the information and the data they have, and they're taking from each concept and theories based on what we put it in there, that what would be the different scenarios, or what would be the best theory or concept of whatever you asking AI. But AI is not telling you, oh yes, this is 100% true. No, that's not true. that's
And
just
the same thing goes with Google too. Google knows only what it has indexed. ChatGPT builds upon that. Now that it's helping you query, it's helping you search the internet as well. It's building upon what is linked. So CryptoView here says, how do you believe in NASA? Well, depends on what's linked. If it's linked in the linked list that Google has, then you can find out about NASA. Just type what is NASA in Google, and you'll get that. So I want to make it clear that AI is a tool and Google is a tool, and they're not replacements for humans. And as a result, there's a lot of things that computers that AI can do for us that just takes us too long to do on our own. We just we don't need to do them if we know that those connections can be made.
what do you say?
Oh, that's a good comment there.
So something else interesting about ChatGPT was Titan touched a little bit on the fact that once a chat gets too long, there's a problem. Well, so ChatGPT or any large language model like ChatGPT or Claude has a problem right now, and if you give it, it hallucinates after a while if you start giving it a lot of chat data. That's a problem with these models. They hallucinate, and so the best way to deal with it is to start the entire chat over to limit its custom set of information that you're giving it, which is not the same as the training data. You're basically writing a big query. Every time you hit enter on that prompt, it reads the entire chat and then looks at your latest thing and focuses on that. But if you went back and forth on a subject, it might get that confused from 17 things ago when you said, okay, if you want to find a donut shop, do you like chocolate donuts or jelly donuts? And
chocolate.
Your most recent prompt might say, tell me where I can find a shop with chocolate donuts. But you might have asked it 17 prompts ago, tell me where I can find jelly donuts. And so it responds to your chocolate donuts with jelly donuts because the way it parsed everything together and stuff like that, it's now confused. But it's not going to tell you it's confused. It's just going to go, okay, mathematically speaking, here's a jelly donut shop. And you're like, that's not what I asked for. And it goes, oops, I'm sorry. You did say chocolate last. I couldn't figure out the weights between that thing you said a while back and the thing you said now. So you got to reset it.
Yeah. I think the future of these, I think the difference in the models, right? Because you have Gemini, you have ChatGPT, you have Claude. They're all based on different models. I think the model type and where that model goes is going to be a big linchpin on what becomes the most successful. And that's, God, we could go down this rabbit hole of what does successful mean. But for basic human use, to get the most out of it in their personal lives and in their business lives, how that model is set up and how the training is updated and how well it adapts, I think is going to be. And I don't know which of those models, I don't know enough depth on those models to determine that. But I do believe that each of them are going to try and do just that. They're going to terraform this whole model towards getting deeper into the human psyche so it can give you everything it needs. That's really, I think, what they're aiming for, is just giving humans one place to go for everything they need.
Okay, so here's a problem that AI is bringing that's going to be very obvious. After a while, just like we need cars, just like we need our computers, we're going to need AI to do things in the world. And people are going to say, I remember when I was younger, I used to walk uphill to school both ways in the snow. I could make my own fire. I can hunt my own animals, stuff like that. I'm sorry to say it, but there's not a lot of animals out there to hunt anymore. So it's not like a lot of people are hunting animals as much as they used to. There are some, but realistically speaking, not very many of us are hunting animals, making our own fires. We're depending upon the electric company to heat our homes. We're depending upon slaughterhouses to kill cows that we eat and stuff like that. We're going to be relying upon AI just like we rely on electricity. AI is going to be needed to get our stuff done. Now, you can choose not to use AI and do things the old-fashioned way, which is fine. You'll just be much more effective using AI. And so I don't want people shouting it down saying, well, this is going to make us lazy. I mean, it was said centuries ago that humans people writing things down made us lazy. The fact that we didn't have to learn every single thing that we read, kind of thing. So they're all through the ages. I mean, when electricity became a thing, and we had lights that electric lights. It was thought of as oh, well, now you're going to depend on it. Yeah, we are. We're going to depend on all these things that we're inventing, and that's not always bad.
Agreed.
So anyway, big tech knows this. They know AI can solve or speed up a lot of problems, and they're going all in. And I don't know, I've decided recently to I should have done it a lot sooner, going into a lot more AI stocks, because that's where it's all going. Now, that's not a recommendation for anybody else. It's just what I'm doing.
It is. If you lose money, email Faz. He'll refund you.
Well, I'm not going to put my balance sheet on the internet. I'll just say, I stopped putting money into AI because I lost a lot of money. I watched that Wall Street Bet movie. Have you heard of that? That Wall Street Bet movie recently? It's called Dumb Money. And
you mentioned that before. I still haven't seen it.
So the guy, one of the people, one of the reasons that Wall Street Bets kind of became a big thing, and GameStop became a big thing, is this guy had a podcast where he was investing in various stocks, and he'd throw up this Excel spreadsheet with everything that he's put in, how much he's getting back, and all this stuff. Which, then people saw what he was doing, started aping into what he was aping into. So he wound up making a ton of money. But funny,
that's how they all work.
Once he made all this money, at a certain point, he stopped his channel, and what I find interesting, because it might be, he probably GameStop's down quite a bit from then, but him losing money and stuff like that, it's probably hard to narrate on a daily basis that he's really for GameStop. Well,
that's how all the things are working right now. You see it on Twitter constantly, hey, I've got this investor group, and for the low price of $499, you can join my investor group, and we're going to send all these tokens to the moon. And then everybody pulls their liquidity out and people get wrecked, right? So it is very common, both in the stock market and in the crypto markets, for this type of thing to happen. You can do that. We can start with the Faz choices for AI stocks, and then we'll get everybody here buying those, and they'll all pump to the moon, and then Faz rugs everybody by selling.
My God.
I just watched something on Mr. Beast.
And then he'll close down the stock channel and be like, what stock channel?
So I just watched something on Mr. Beast just today. Apparently what he would do is he'd be on a number of other people's shows or his own show, and he'd talk up a crypto, and literally right after his show, after he's like, millions of listeners, right after his show, he'd immediately just dump. And
wow.
I saw that. That was bad. If that's true, that dude is done with a capital D.
Okay, so 8-Bit Tendies actually posted this in our crypto stuff channel. It's not a crypto thing. Well, yeah, I guess it is. 8-Bit Tendies published that in our crypto stuff channel, and it's a very good watch. It's only like 10 minutes or 14 minutes, but this guy has blockchain evidence of when he said something and when he dumped, and other people in his orbit, how they would talk up coins and dump right afterward.
That is the corruption that you see in crypto. Hence, back to the first 5 minutes of this show when we were talking about why crypto is not working out.
Well, okay, you're going to have, I'm not saying it's okay, but you're going to have corruption in anything that humans do. And
right.
I don't care what it is you invent. There's going to be somebody, if it makes money, people are going to corrupt it. But it's important to remember that money isn't real. Money is fake, and the government likes it that way. This is going to be the hugest obstacle to the government ever approving of anything. I think the government should just stand back and just let crypto do what crypto does, because they cannot regulate it. It's unregulatable. Because if they do, they're going to have to define things about money and value that they have intentionally not defined in the past.
Well, that's part of the problem, right? So they have to regulate what is considered money, because all of us see value in different things, right? So Zorro and I, we might love trading in water bottles. Water might become scarce, and so Zorro and I want to use water bottles as money. And Faz, you absolutely love zip bugs, and you might want to make zip bugs a currency, right? The cooler the zip bug, the more. But you can do that in society. You can trade, because if somebody finds something valuable, other people just may not. They have to get a consensus of people all seeing something as valuable. That's what money really is, in my opinion, because everybody can agree that a US dollar has value, and you can quantify that value. Whereas you can offer somebody, I want to trade my cool headphones for a truck. And somebody's going to go, headphones for a truck? Are you crazy? But there's somebody out there, I guarantee it, that always wish they had some Bluetooth headphones, and they have an old truck sitting in their driveway and would gladly make that trade. So that's where you have to start thinking of money and tokens and value from.
That's what
because
DeFi is for.
Yeah, there's people right now that value certain tokens more than others, right? You have people like CryptoView out there that every token on the planet except that's not named XRP is a pile of dog shit. And you have other people who think Bitcoin, and if it's not Bitcoin, it's dog shit. And then you have people who think shit coins, the PP coin or Pepe coin or whatever it's called. That is the bee's knees, and that's it. Think about the hexagons, right? Those people who do that Ponzi scheme with what's his face? What's that guy? Richard somebody or other?
Yeah, well, Elon believed that meme coins are the best thing ever.
Right.
He said it multiple times.
That's what I mean. That's what money is a vast number of people believing that the same asset, whatever it is the best form of value.
Right.
That's all money is.
So this is why when countries form, they coin their own money, because they realize that they have any new country that forms realizes, oh my God, we've got a lot of people, and our job is now to direct these people. We can easily direct them toward money. In fact, very specific money, our money, so they have a captive audience. So that's why every country is going to have its own money.
You almost slipped that past me, Faz. You're slick as wet dog shit here tonight. You just kind of laid your cards on the table for everybody to see. Your words were,
I like being honest.
The government's job is to dictate to people.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
The government's job is to do what I fucking tell them to do.
Oh, yeah.
Citizen.
Okay. So that's kind of funny. I don't disagree with that either. So the government does tell you what to do. And the government, and who tells the government what to do is supposed to be you. But the problem is there's so many of us out there that it's not that we're going to have to form really big groups of us to make any apparent change. But yeah, they take their marching orders from us, and because we're so many, we can't all get on the same page. We're gonna kind of leave it up to the government to figure out what to tell us. And yes, they are going to dictate it to us. I'm not against either idea, but one's realistic and the other's not. Realistically speaking, they dictate to you every day.
That makes a lot of sense where you come from, though. My light bulb like exploded in my head as soon as you said that.
Well, okay,
and we've got to get people off of that. That's what crypto and decentralization and Bitcoin are about.
You're not gonna. This is like your body actually working without a brain. Your body is a dictatorship. Your brain dictates to your body, and your body does it. Okay, any large system is going to require some sort of dictatorial setup in order for its pieces to work. And this could be a religion, this could be a corporation, this could be a country. It doesn't matter. Any large system. Now, what's the government? So the government is given all sorts of conflicting instructions by the 500 million people in the United States. And so the government can say, well, boy, there's a lot of people saying do this, there's a lot of people saying not. So since it's hard to tell, we're just going to choose. And either way, they're going to be right, because there will be people they'll do something that somebody told them to do. So
I'll disagree with you. The brain doesn't control the body. The asshole does. Because if it won't shit for you, it's going to back up your guts. It's going to cause you pain. You're going to get brain fog. You're not going to be able to see straight.
Okay, that's like saying, I mean, you could say the eyeballs do, or the mouth does, or the stomach does. I mean, or the pee-pee does.
Oh my God! How do we get into this?
I don't know. He brought assholes into the question. He wants to talk about his bidet, I think.
Yeah,
I still love my bidet. I love my bidet. I will never go back to toilet paper again after this.
Geez,
bidet.
look at the time here. It's like we've been an hour and 6 minutes into this.
Bye.
No, listen. So to I know we've been over an hour, so I'll kind of wrap up. In summary, though, I do think we're going in the right direction with AI. Number one, and I do worry a little bit that they're racing against each other so much that eventually the AI is going to end up a pile of crap because people are throwing together things too fast to try and win some imaginary race. So I'm worried about that, but I do think it's going in the right direction. Number two, I don't mind people spending a ton of money on these, the 200 billion that article talked about, but there's got to be some kind of ROI in there somewhere. Remember, when the product is free, you're the product. You've got to remember that.
No, the ROI is already happening. The very fact that these products aren't free. ChatGPT, if you really want to use it, it's not free. You got to pay for it. I'm paying for that. I'm paying for Claude. I'm paying for 2 different AIs.
Yeah, but $20 a month, man, it ain't making them rich. It's really not.
No, but it's well, actually, you get everybody in the United States paying $20 a month. You get everybody in the United States paying for electricity. You know, that's you don't have to make much. You don't have to charge much. Remember also that it's going to speed you up. It's doing you a favor. So you paying that $20 back, you get that $20 back right away.
Well, there's a based on different people out there. I mean, if you know how to use ChatGPT, you can have some sort of income using ChatGPT. So your $20 subscription could be free, basically, because you can get that money back.
I'm not complaining about that part.
It's a tool. ChatGPT is another tool that people can use, and out of that tool, you can make money as well. You You have some
Yeah,
sort of
you
income.
can.
It's like anything else. They're marketing this very cheaply to get people hooked on it, and then the price is going to go through the roof.
The price is going to
Because
go through the roof.
200
Okay.
billion dollars they have to make up in ROI just to break even.
Okay, first of all,
$20
it sounds
a
like you're
month,
decrying
no matter how
capitalism
many
here.
people.
Capitalism is about charging the most for the least that you can provide. Yeah, the rules of capitalism are going to play here. Great. So you have a problem with capitalism? I think it's a great thing.
Best thing ever.
I do think it's going to cause some problems down the road, though. I really do.
Of course it is. Capitalism has problems. I mean, how does capitalism deal with something that we need as much as AI? The same way it dealt with electricity. Okay. Electricity right now, you're not paying $100 an hour for your electric bill. You wouldn't be able to afford it. The electric company, well, they're also called utilities, which have a certain special place in our country, which actually I think eventually AI and the internet can easily be declared as public utilities after a while, especially if we get to really depend on them. And then when you declare utilities, then you have price controls. So until they're a utility and until there's price controls, it's going to the price is going to creep up to the highest that the market will bear. And if some fly-by-night company comes along and offers AI tools for a whole lot cheaper, great. The reality is you're going to have some high-priced stuff and some low-priced stuff. Just like you could buy a $5 hammer and a $500 hammer. You're going to have some good ones and some bad ones. You will pay through the nose for certain AI that has more computation power. Anybody who tries to take advantage of you is subject by the rules of capitalism. Somebody's just going to come along and do it cheaper. So it's the best system we got right now.
Could be.
So I think we're going to end soon, but I want to show something before we end. And I
Does it have to do with that hose you were talking about earlier?
The fire hose? What? Okay,
Emptying
first of
the
all,
boat.
those cups there in the middle being demonstrated, they're no longer for sale. I got one. Zorro got one, and some people, other people got some too, but they're no more. We'll have a different design for next year. But for anybody that's on FazRadio, that's like, I don't know, you've been interviewed, you're featured. We have this. This is a T-shirt. This is the first. I don't have a picture of the entire T-shirt because this was somebody who got the T-shirt, mailed that to me, or not mailed that to me. He sent it to me, DM'd it to me. And so if you are featured on FazRadio, we will send you a shirt just like this. And it'll have FazRadio on the back, just like this one.
Nice. Yep.
But I don't have the featured on mine because I was not interviewed by FazRadio. So this is somebody who was. In fact, I don't even own one of these shirts.
I believe we start sending already a few of them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we have. We've sent for at least the last 4 guests that we've had, 4 or 5 guests. One of them has not gotten back to me. He said he'd give me his address, and then he didn't. So we're waiting on that one. But if we interview you, we'll be sending out. We're going crazy with the neat FazRadio merch just because it's fun, and I only make like $1 off this because otherwise the price is just too high. But it's just fun. That's all. Ask yourself some questions and you can own a shirt. Well, I have to pay for the shirt then. And actually, I'd rather not pay for the shirt. I'm paying for these examples. This is an example cup. This is the only cup that looks like this. There's no more that look like this. So, and then of course I have this cup. This is our mascot right here.
I've got one of those. That's a good cup. I drink coffee out of it at least once a week.
And I like black cups. See that? That way they don't show any stains on the inside.
So it doesn't matter if it's dirty, you just can't see it, right?
Yeah, it's dark. So.
There you go. Anyway, so that was my thing. Was the featured shirts have gone out to 4 different people right now, And there will be more as we interview people. And of course, this is our new logo. I got rid of the other one because it was using an emoticon that we didn't own. And we start making money one of these years, I don't want to get busted for using an emoticon that we don't own. I wear dark underwear. Actually, I am at the moment. I won't show you.
So it doesn't show the stains, right?
There you go. See? Well, you know how Titan knows when to change his underwear. He just throws it at the wall. It sticks, then he changes it.
You can wear them 4 times. Frontwards, backwards, turn them inside out, frontwards and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Hey, this is a good question. I wonder if we can make glass FazRadio cups.
I think
I'll
we
have to look
can.
on that
think we
website
can.
that I have.
Oh, you mean like the see-through ones?
Yeah.
Beer mug.
Glass.
Yeah.
Beer
Hey,
mugs. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great idea, Titan.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Well,
have a
it
limited
was-
edition
it was-
shirt there too, Mr. Zorro.
It was Shanrat's idea to begin with, so I think if we make them and they turn out good, you should give Shanrat one.
I should just give him
Yeah.
one. Well, we do have some funding for these for these
Ideas
cups and
are
merchandise. We
rewarded
get
at
funding, we're gonna make
FazRadio.
a Shanrat one.
I'll buy it if I have to. That was a good idea.
Hey, I like that. Any idea you have that you'll pay for, I'm all for it.
Of course you are.
Okay. So is that it, guys?
I think so. Yeah.
Got anything else?
Got something else, Titan?
No. I thought this was a great show, and I thought we had a great conversation tonight. I loved tonight's show.
Nice.